Um, what was I gonna say? Oh, yeah, I was fully just talking, not realizing you went to the bathroom because your camera's not working on Discord
Oh,
for
damn.
a little bit, and then I was like, "Hello." Ah, damn.
There it is.
Hmm.
Do a little ping here. Post to the Instagram.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. We still need to do D&D. Slash, I still want to do D&D. It doesn't have to happen, but it's on
I
my
want to do it.
mind.
I just don't know when. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know when people's schedules line up, if they ever do.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Oh no. Why is it now streaming on fucking Paramount Plus? Okay. We got one watching.
Me, my phone,
Awesome. Alright, we got like one more minute.
for sure, for sure.
I don't know if anybody's gonna watch this one, but
Oh, what is that sound? Oh.
I'm so confused right now. Oh. I was trying to think. I was looking at my camera. I'm like, what's that in the background? It was something that was like dark blue, and it was in the. It looked like it was on my desk, and I realized it was the fucking mac and cheese that's on the ground. But the perspective made it look like it was on the desk.
The worst part is that this is like just going to be uploaded to Spotify. Is you talking about yapping about the mac and
No, no,
cheese
no,
on your
no, no.
desk.
I trim it. I always trim the beginning.
Uh, it took 10 minutes before we started talking about an album on the last episode, I feel like.
I trimmed some. We also started it
Okay.
early because
Oh yeah,
we
yeah,
were
yeah.
ready for once.
Just like today.
Hmm.
Boom. Segue.
Hey gamers, welcome to Societycore. This is your host John Aiden. Bjork
Hi.
Part Two.
I'm so excited. I'm so happy that we get to finish
I'm
this
scared.
incredible discography.
Incredible is an interesting word.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Here's it.
Uh,
The deal is we're gonna talk about the albums we didn't cover last time. So we got Mount Wittenberg, Orca up until Fossera, and then we're gonna look over what we had for the other albums and readjust if needed.
yep. Who finished, right?
So you picked it. So I started with debut,
Mhm,
and so that means I
mhm.
think this is the seventh one. So it would be me,
Yeah,
right? Okay,
yeah,
awesome.
great.
Oh, Max is in the chat.
Let's go.
All right. So Mount Wittenberg, Orca. Let me see. I think this one. I think what I remember thinking it was. I liked parts of it. I thought it was pretty good overall, and it might be like her most like cohesive work. Cause I feel like all the it's like shorter, but like all the songs like work pretty well um, together. And it was just like nice and short and sweet. I think it was a cool introduction to Bjork if you're looking for some stuff, as well as the other artists. I forget their name.
Dirty Projectors.
Dirty Projectors. So
Yeah.
I like that. I think overall there was nothing that really stood out, but then there also wasn't anything that was like super bad to me. Um, like I said, it was a while since I last listened to it, but I had a good time with it. Unlike some of the other projects Bjork has done. Um, I think that's most of what I remember.
All right, all right. I have like the first thing I want to say is it's kind of insane hearing you say this is one of the most cohesive releases. Because I do agree it's very cohesive and being short helps it, but come on. She's got Vespertine, she's got Homogenic,
I
like
feel like there's some like
or
outlandish stuff on those
even
songs. There's like
yeah, but
different
this one also
genres.
has some Spanish stuff. There's a lot of like weird, shrill, like full vocal type singing on this, which personally I love. I think this is one of the best EPs of all time. Uh, one of my favorite I've ever listened to. It's just like
Damn,
banger after banger. That like the lowest I gave anything on it was an 85,
dear God.
which means like it had probably the highest median of
Mm-hmm.
any of her albums. Like there's no dip in quality on this whatsoever. It's just like so short, so sweet. Has a couple incredible standouts for me. I think Sharing Orb is like the best
That was
song
my
on the
favorite.
album.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so fucking crazy. It has like some really, it's like I think the verses on it are really like gentle singing, and then the choruses have like this really like driving, vibrant, like chanting quality to them. It's one of the coolest songs in her discography, I think. And I think the artists like collaboration play together really well. Um, like there's some pope, oh my god, folk pop elements to this, which is like it's kind of wild hearing that from Bjork and it
Yeah.
working so well, but it does. Um, and I think, yeah, I agree that it's a good introduction, because of that, like, it has a little bit of the weirdness without having anything that's like challenging in
Yeah.
its weirdness. It's all
I
just
agree.
like pleasant. Um, so overall, I think I have it as like a 90, which uh originally was an A, but after I finished with everything and I looked at like what the score breaks were, there's like a clear clump of 90 and above. Uh, so I have it as bottom of S.
Damn.
um, yeah, I think it's fantastic.
I think I had this. It's kind of like all like hovers with like Vespertine. It's like below. I think I had it below debut, but I also like debut more, so I like had it kind of like an A rank, and it was like below these ones. So I don't know. I don't know if homogenic moved in your list though.
I can't say.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
see.
Okay.
I'm happy with where things are right now, putting it in A.
Okay.
Um, so I think that's like
We'll let
a
it sit here for right now.
okay. And when we move things around, yeah.
We'll figure it out.
All right.
Biophilia, the Bjork app album.
Yeah, the app. Didn't do much research for these. I think I really just let the oh, that's not true. Some of them I did because the lyrical content for some of these, I
Mm.
was like, I have a feeling I know what was going on in her life, but let me confirm, and I was right.
Yeah.
Um, Did we do it in the wrong order? Was this before? Oh,
Mount
they're the
Orca
same year, right?
came out before Biophilia.
Okay, but they're both 2011.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I think like
Okay.
on Spotify the deluxe edition came out after, so that's why it's like after it on Spotify.
So as we know, I'm a Volta
Oh
enjoyer,
god.
and I listen to these. I listened to the album before Mount Wittenberg, so this was the first thing I listened to after Volta, and I find Volta like very exciting. It feels fresh, and this kind of was another more of a concept album. It's more cohesive. Um, like it's the like scape of the album is pretty consistent in the type of the ideas she's playing with. Um, like some weird electronic like stuff and but the for me it just doesn't come together in a way that's satisfying. Like some of the stuff, like Moon, I really like, and then Thunderbolt, I like a little less, and then Crystalline, I like decently, and then a little less for Cosmogony, and then it goes down and down until Hollow, I like really like dislike, and Dark Matter. Um, and then I liked Virus and Sacrifice and Mutual Core a lot. I think like if this album was kind of pared down, um, if it was shorter, some of the weaker tracks were cut out, I think it would be a really solid listen. Um, because it's just, yeah, it has highs and lows, but the highs, none of them are like, I think the highest I was a 92, I guess is what I'm saying. Um, Mutual Core was my favorite. It has like that kind of the blend of like heavy electronic stuff, and then I think this one has a lot of is this with a lot of strings.
Probably.
I'll double check while you're talking, but yeah, it's got that like really it has like blends between really pretty soft stuff and then really heavy like aggressive electronic. Um and oh yeah, this one has like the breakcore and like dubstep on it. Um and I think it's really interesting of an idea and it's done well sometimes and in other times it sounds kind of dissonant, like it's just unpleasant to listen to. And overall I was kind of like underwhelmed. I wasn't I didn't hate it, but I was like, okay, I've been really enjoying the albums as a whole up till now, and this one felt more like a difficult journey. So overall it was like a 76 for me. So what did you think?
So Bjork released this album along with an app, and I guess when you got the app, you could like take apart the stems of the songs and like kind of mess around with them and do what you wanted. And there was like some mini games with the app. I think that's like a super cool idea. Probably way too expensive for anybody to realistically do now or like have it even make sense now. But I think for that time, that was a pretty cool idea. With all that being said, I think this is the first Bjork album I didn't enjoy. um, I agree. I think it was kind of like a trip trying to like get through it and like that because I always listen to everything like 3 times, and I was going through it. And I'm like, I have zero desire to keep listening. Um, and I think most of it was like a lot of it was just like fine. Like I didn't. There was nothing I really cared about. A lot of it was just fine. Some was like this is like definitely on average like worse than like everything else she had released before. In my opinion, I don't really like some of the sounds or styles she was going with. I agree with Hollow. I guess in my notes I wrote "fuck you Bjork" for that song. I I I think there was like that weird percussion noise thing or something, and it was like really repetitive and annoying. And I'm just like, why the fuck would you put this in a song? Um, and then for Mutual Core, I gave it an 8, and I said the only song worth revisiting. Um, and then everything else was like a 6 or a 7. So I just feel like the idea and like the album just kind of fell flat, and there was not much to take out of it, and I didn't really care for it. I think if her other albums like weren't like as crazy or like as good, this one
Mhm.
would probably be like higher overall. But I think just comparing it to her other work, I was like, damn, this is not good.
Yeah. Yeah, her like well, depending on who you ask, like 4 to 6 album run is kind of like legendary. So then this coming after it is a little like, yeah,
Lost the
it's
sauce.
kind of disappointing. A little lost the sauce. So this is definitely my lowest rated
Mm.
of the albums we've talked about, and I think it seems like it is for you as well.
This one's tied, technically,
Oh, with what? With
with another one.
uh,
But
I said, but so far.
oh, yeah, no, this is definitely the worst one so far.
Okay. Um, hmm. Where do you want to put it?
I think the highest you could possibly go is C.
The highest is C? Oh shit. Okay. Sure. We're gonna have I think I mean there yeah,
I'm okay with putting it in D if you want.
no. No. I mean for me it's B tier, but I have
Oh,
some things in B not in B, so I don't want to put it in the same tier as like Volta and Medulla. I fully believe it's like a lower quality
yeah,
than those.
yeah.
Um, but I only liked it a little bit less than debut, so
I don't know. I really like debut.
yeah. And I know a lot of people
I
do.
was like looking it up,
Um,
and it seems like a lot of people actually don't like debut that much, which is crazy.
really,
Yeah, I think there's just like
it's
some
so very
websites that has it higher, but then like looking into a
mhm.
bunch of fans, a lot of them kind of glaze across that album. I don't know if glaze is
It's
the right word there, but
it feels like different than everything else. It's very of the time,
it's awesome.
and I think pretty much every other album like exists out of time and space. Like you can put them on and have no idea what year they were created because they're so
Yeah,
incredibly like innovative and unique. And that is just like, okay, it's a good pop record from the 90s that had a little bit of like it's a little bit out there, has some creativity, but
yeah,
so I think if you're a real like fan, it's not gonna like you're not gonna love it for the same reasons you love everything else.
yeah.
Um, so, but I'm happy with this tier
Okay.
with C.
All right. On to the next one.
Yes.
Okay. Volnicura. I also read a lot about this one. A lot of people seem to really like this one. I don't know why.
No.
I think my overall thoughts for it were that the songs were too long and it was uninteresting to me. Most of it got sixes and sevens, and then I think my least favorite was History of Touches. There wasn't like anything that really stuck out to me as good or like great, and then there wasn't much anything that was bad. I think by the time I was done with them, like that was fine. I was just really, really bored by the end of it, and I did not care. And I think I understand a lot of it comes from the lyrics, but my ass
Yeah.
doesn't listen to music
Yeah.
for lyrics, so I did not give a fuck.
So
Like
fucked
Blacklick's
up.
like a 10-minute song. I'm like, Bjork, you didn't need to do all that. Like
Yes, she
I did
did.
not need to listen to that song three
She
fucking
was
times.
cooking.
No, boring.
Uh,
And
dude, no track,
I
not
ended up
even a
rating it
single track.
slightly
Like,
higher than Biophilia.
oh, this is brutal.
Your ass is gonna have it
No,
in S.
no, I don't have it in S. I don't have it
Thank
in S.
God.
okay, this album lyrically is like one of the most like mature breakup albums like ever, I think. There's so much that's being like said and talked about and in a really poignant, beautiful way about like loving someone and losing love and like attraction and resentment, and it's like and it's also from a really unique perspective because most, at least that I've encountered, a lot of love albums are or breakup albums are very much about like the hurt or the sadness or like falling in love, and there isn't a lot of like processing ones or things that really dig in deep. And also like her situation is unique as well, where it's like it's about like co-parenting and um like generational problems being passed down and trying to like protect your children and like wanting the best for them, because she was, I don't know how
How am
old
I
she
supposed
was,
to
but
relate to that though? You know,
you don't have to because it's so
I'm kidding.
poetic
I'm
and she
kidding.
tells a great story. But and I also really love the sounds of it. um I appreciate that she went back to stuff that she was familiar with, because I know with biophilia, like that whole app was not just to share the stems, it was also like she made the album with a lot of like programming, and so it took years of like having people write music composition programs. Whereas this was like, okay, we're gonna bring like the strings from Vespertine and the like electronic production from Homo- Homogenic, and we're just gonna get back into that zone and just write some Bjork music. And I think on the first listen, I had a little bit of that same feeling of like these songs are really long. It's tiring to get to, like I don't know how I feel about this, but it was very rewarding to re-listen because of the lyrics and because the production is just really solid. Um, and I think that yeah, there's a lot going on those long songs. They're not repetitive. Like it isn't just, as much as I love it, like the dull flame of desire is the same verse like four times with a build that I really love, but I can understand if you're like, okay, that song didn't need to be 8 minutes. But like Black Lake, History of Touches is shorter though. Black Lake has a really weird sound that like you don't know what to expect, and it keeps building and keeps building, and there's a lot of like there's a story there, um with some incredible imagery, uh, and yes, the highs of this are pretty good. There, but because it kind of reminds me a little bit of like not as sad, but like a listening experience, kind of like Black Star, like David Bowie's
Oh,
Black Star, where it's like you have to get into the songs, and they're not like gonna be, you're not gonna feel great afterwards, or like it's not like, oh, that was so entertaining, but it's a great story. It really puts you in the artist's perspective and like comes together. You're not gonna throw on like Black Star and be like, oh, what a banger.
I,
But it's still
I'd
an
do
amazing.
that. I'd do that. That
Well,
album is a
yours.
banger.
So, at
Tis a
least for
pity she
me,
was
I
a
wouldn't.
whore. You know what I'm saying? Damn bars.
So overall, this is like a 85 for me, and I have it as top of A.
Oh my
Um,
god. Uh,
which on this tier list with where we have the other things, it would be bottom of A,
okay.
uh, on ours, but on mine, it's top.
I had it. It would have been right here, slightly above biophilia.
Fucked up.
Um.
To be fair, the order there isn't. No, I have it above Volta and Medulla for sure. I think it's very.
We can meet
Yeah.
in the middle if you want.
Where in the middle
I don't
specifically
even
though?
know.
I mean, I know my debut take is pretty like different,
It's probably
so
gonna change at the end of this anyways, so
oh, okay. So maybe we put it top of B. Is that
okay.
okay?
We'll do that for
Yeah,
now.
for now, for now. Yeah, it's this is not a for everyone album though. This is like if you really like the weirder stuff Bjork does, it's like
So if you love lyrics,
yeah, if you love lyrics too. Which I'm not always a lyric person. Um, but
I think I got
yeah,
like
she
maybe five or six artist tops that I listen to that I love the lyrics for, which is
name them
crazy.
right now. So
All right, car seat headrest,
I knew that was gonna be number one.
Faye
I
Webster,
fucking okay.
um, that
Two.
might be it. Maybe Radiohead. Some of the Radiohead songs get me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another one's got to be King Gizzard. You know, rattlesnake, rattlesnake,
Yeah, rattle.
rattlesnake rattles me.
Says a lot. Says a
Ahead of
lot.
its time. Um,
Uh-huh. One more. One more.
one more.
hmm
I don't even know. I don't even
You
know.
said 5 to 6. Come on.
Um,
You can say Ween.
we'll say. I guess we'll say Ween. We'll say Ween. Why not?
Uh,
Yeah, I think if I tried doing a discography run of Bob Dylan, I'd probably kill myself.
same.
Good
Uh,
lord, that's like his
I
main
think I
thing
would
is lyrics.
actually be run off of uh the street if I gave my Bob Dylan takes.
All right,
Anyway,
you do the next one, right? Utopia.
yes. Oh, fine. I have to talk about
I
Utopia.
don't know.
um, this is the Flute album. Did it before it was cool. Eat Your Heart Out, Andre 3000. Um, it's a lot. It's a big album, and there is not a single song on here where I'm like, whoa, I can't wait to come back to that. There are good songs for sure. I would say the majority is like good. Uh, but for Bjork, it's also kind of mid. Um, it's like it's got a little bitty orchestral stuff, but it's different this time. It's very flute centric. And then the production, which it was co-produced by Arca, um, which is still pretty early in Arca's career, I believe, which is pretty cool. I like a lot of Arca's newest stuff. The Kick trilogy absolutely bangs, but Arca was just in a producing role here, and her style, um, like the really like aggressive, like hardcore, like techno stuff, doesn't always mesh well. There's also some weird fucking like earth sound stuff that's like not. It's like less grounded earth sounds than were on Volta. Um, it's like weird, unreal chirping. Um, yeah, all to say, I just didn't really get the album. I know some people like it, other people don't. I'm leaning towards the like I respect it, but was pretty like unimpressed overall. So I think again, this is a new lowest.
Damn.
Yeah,
Damn.
unfortunately. What about you?
Fun fact about Utopia:
hmm
when you bought the album, got Bjork cryptocurrency. I think it was called Music Coin. I think you got like 100 of them when it came out, and they were like worth like $10 or something, or $1, and now they're like worth the tiniest fraction of a cent. Low key, I wish I got it, so then I could just say that I had Bjork cryptocurrency. But
Mhm.
overall, I think I had a good time with this album. It was I listened to it. I'm like, okay. There was nothing that I hated. There wasn't much that I like stood out to me. I was like, yo, this is crazy. But I think my favorites are Paradisia and Saint. I would maybe say this is one
Mm.
of like her easier albums to listen to because there's not just some random ass jarring song in the middle of it that kind of switches the vibe up.
True.
I think it was just overall like it was cool. It wasn't still I don't think as good as like her earlier stuff, but there was nothing that I hated that just like soured my taste. So I was just like that was fine. I don't think there was anything I cared to revisit, but it was just like overall like I'd honestly probably say for me this was like the complete like middle section of Bjork in terms of like quality for me. I think it was not as good as the other stuff, and nowhere near as hard to listen to or get through some of the other albums. So just and good, like good enough Bjork album, I guess. That's my final my
Yeah.
final thoughts on it.
In the I'm like, I guess I'm saying like my stuff about it in the context of her discography, but the new low for Bjork is still like a 75 album, which is like, yeah, and you made a good point about there not being anything in the middle that is just like super jarring and bad. I think the closest for me was like Features Creatures, um because it has a
It's
little
not like
bit
a
of like,
short song too. There are some songs on this one that were really short.
oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, the lyrics. That's something else I wanted to talk about. I forgot about the lyrics on this. I'm just looking at my notes. Are super literal, which
Mm.
I'm not used to. Like she's talking about specific experiences in plain language, which is like that doesn't happen on any other album. Everything else it's like super
Is
metaphorical,
that the one where he
like
talks about like fucking or something? Or is that another
well,
album?
when she's talking about fucking on this, it's also pretty.
Okay.
It is like that. But on then, which song is it? It's like the gate, I think, or maybe it's courtship. I think it's courtship where she or features creatures. I don't know. One of these songs, she's just talking about like being someone who looks like her ex and like falling in love and like wanting to trade
Yep.
MP3s with them. And I'm
Yep.
like,
I
this is
remember
the
that.
most like Weezer Bjork song of all time. Um,
You're like hearing
Also
somebody
the
with the same accent.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, whoa, this is so like honest, and I didn't know
I
how
kind
I
of fuck
felt
with
about
lyrics
it.
like that.
Yeah, it wasn't like bad, but it was jarring. And it is another thing that contributes to it being like an easier listen
Hmm.
overall. Oh, I gotta send you something.
Oh
Have you
no.
seen the art for the single the it's called Lost?
Stop. I already know what you're gonna fucking send me.
Yeah, so that single had some weird art. That was one of my favorite
I
tracks
trust you.
actually. That one, Saint and Arisen, My Senses, all great. Blissing Me, great. But like the great for this album isn't like nothing was above a 9 out of 10, 90
Yeah.
for me. But also nothing was below like a 62 was the worst.
Mm.
So overall, like I'm not gonna say skip it. Like it's worth a listen. Not personally not my favorite. Personally my one of my least favorite, but I still have it in B tier. So on our tier list, I would have it on C. But
Yeah. I this is the middle, so we can. Do you want to do end of B or beginning of C for
um,
right now?
for right now, probably uh, top of C,
All right,
and we can move things.
it's gonna be an interesting fucking tier list. Maybe
Oh,
maybe
it's
it'll even
so
out.
fucked. It's so fucked.
Oh wait, I forgot we gotta. Yeah, there we go. Bjork. Um, are we onto the last one?
Yeah, the final
Sora.
album. Is this
I think it's you, right? No, it's me.
in?
It's me.
Wait, yeah, yeah, because I
Yeah,
went
yeah.
back and yeah.
All right.
Oof.
This one kind of surprised me.
Oh yeah.
Um, I think it was really. It actually reminded me of the penultimate David Bowie album. I think it's called the Last Day or something. I don't fully remember. It's the one right before Black Star, and he kind of goes through like a bunch of his discography and like emulates the same like styles and genres and puts them all together on that album. So it's kind of like oh, here's all the stuff I did in the past, and we're gonna like mesh all of it together. Um, and I think Bjork kind of did that with this album. I think she took like a bunch of styles and like sounds she went through on like a bunch of her albums previously, and then kind of like threw them together into this album. And I think that's a super cool idea, and it's like a really cool concept that I like seeing explored. Um, but I don't really like some of the songs on the album. So it's like but I almost feel like I just like the idea of kind of like revisiting like similar genres or ideas you did in the past and kind of throwing them together. I think that's cool, and I almost feel like I appreciate the album for just even trying to attempt that, even if I don't like some of the songs on it. Um, I think there's like a lot of cool stuff. I fucking hated the first song. I think
Oh yeah.
every time I started the album, like this song's so fucking bad. It hurts my
Terrible.
ears. The second one I don't like that much either. Um, and then I think the album just kind of slowly starts getting better. I think like the second half is almost like a different style, and I think it gets like more consistent and better after the hard the hard to listen to beginning of the album.
Mhm. That's a good point. I guess looking at my scores, yeah, after the halfway point, so like allow through her mother's house, it's like all hovering around like mid 70s,
Mm-hmm.
except for Trollagabo, which is like maybe the lowest scoring of all of Bjork's songs that I have. Uh,
The fuck?
yeah, that song's horrible.
It's not. There's no way it's as bad as a Topaz or whatever.
Oh, I have it
Oh
worse.
my
Yeah.
god. Oh my god.
At least a Topos is like a fucking
Doom, doom, doom,
disaster
doom,
that was
doom, doom,
trying
doom,
something
doom,
cool.
doom, 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 doom,
Prolagaba,
doom.
there's nothing redeeming there. It's just on a bad listen, I think.
Damn.
Um, anyway, yeah, I think it was really up and down in the first half. Like I like Mycelia, I like
I
Ancestress
see it was
a
Medellin
bit.
Part 2.
Yeah, I mean, and I like Medulla. Ovule, I didn't I had gave it 74. I thought the horns and like the vocal sampling together was cool. I think it's a good because I'm looking at it and it's like the parts of the album that remind me of the her albums that are good, like that use those styles, I liked. And then the ones that are kind of more uh of this album's style, I didn't like.
Yeah,
The more like I think this has some of her worst like avant-garde stuff on it, like
yeah,
Atopos and Prolagaba, where it's just trying to do something really weird and it just sucks. And that's unfortunate because there are some pretty tracks, and she is still just like a really incredible performer and composer. So like the title track, I think, is a standout as well.
yeah.
Um, like the I love the mix of like the really heavy, like the hardcore stuff. This is the only track on the album, I think, that has the there's like a featured producer, like Casamin or something. I can't remember. It started with a K, who's like a hardcore EDM artist, I think. And it actually worked well. Um, so that was cool. Um, my favorite part of the album is that her children are featured, which, considering how much she talks about like wanting to be a good mother through, and like how much motherhood is a theme throughout her lyrics, uh I'm like, is this the kind of thing where like if you were her kid you'd be like, oh my god, mom, stop. Like, it's embarrassing. So it's nice that like they reciprocated enough to be on the album and like give some really pretty vocal performances.
Yeah, that was
um
sweet.
yeah, that was wholesome. But overall, I think even though the average like score for the songs I have is a 68, it feels like as a project worse than that because of how, like, at least in my listening experience, like inconsistent it was. Um, the second half, if it didn't have Trollagabba, wouldn't be that way, and maybe I'd feel different because it would be pretty
I
smooth and
think this
enjoyable.
album would be a lot better with some of the tracks removed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Um, which is unfortunate. That it's like the most recent thing that she's put out.
I think
Uh,
she's got one more, and then she's calling it.
I hope she never stops. I hope she just keeps putting out some crazy. I have Medulla 2 in 2060. Fingers crossed. Actually,
2060.
wait, how many years is that? Oh no, she's gonna be like 80. Never mind.
Medulla 2, 2060.
Maybe in 2035 or
Okay.
something. um yeah, I overall it would be C tier for me, but on our tier list, it's D, I think.
No! No! I
You can
think I
put
was
it C.
thinking I put it the same exact score as Biophilia, but I think because
Okay,
I fuck with the concept
go for
way
C then, because I
more,
like
I had
it
it,
isn't.
I like it more than Biophilia.
All right, go. I'm happy with C. I think I might have felt a little, well, nah. It's definitely, well, I guess it's time to talk about
Uh,
how we each feel about this tier list right now. Do you want to go in
this
like
tier list is
in order?
fucked right now. It
You
is
want to go in
beyond
order,
fucked.
or do you want to go like top to bottom?
Like the way it's ordered now, or like
Yeah,
chronological.
that's my question. Is like, do you want to go top to bottom from order now, or just chronological, trying to make adjustments?
All right, chat. What do we think? You have 10 seconds to give us an
Yeah,
answer. 10,
yeah.
9. Oh, somebody left. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. I didn't listen to any of them. All right, cool.
Okay,
Uh,
so let's just go top to bottom.
okay.
Um, oh wait, that's gonna be confusing because the tier list is moving around. So that would be stupid,
Okay,
and we should just
let's
go in order.
chronological.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, sure. All right,
All right.
simple, simple.
I guess my thoughts on debut. I still really like it. I think it should be bottom of A. That's my answer.
Okay. So I have four clear groupings of scores. I have like four albums that are low 90s. I have three albums that are mid 80s. I have three albums that are like high to mid 70s, and then I have Fossora at a 68. So Debut is at the top of B for me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it is in the correct placement, but it also feels really wrong because of where I have other things.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it should move, but I think that other things are gonna like I think other things should overtake it,
Okay.
at least in order. Yeah.
I guess it'll sit where it is for right now.
All right.
All right. Post.
Post.
I still think Vespertine should be above it. That's my that's my one take. I would move it down.
All right, I'm good with that. I
Let's
think because for me,
go.
all I care about for Post is that it's in S tier, because I genuinely didn't give the songs a fair rating. I was just like, I love this album. They all get max possible score because it's going in S no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but yeah, Vespertine above it, I'm down for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah. Uh, Homogenic. I re-listened to this album.
Yeah.
I re-listened and it got better.
Yeah.
It jumped up a couple points, to the point where it's S tier. Like it's
Yeah.
solid. It's not even like bordering S tier for me. It is in S tier for sure. Um,
I'm down for
I
S.
have it above Vespertine, and my post rating is like kind of broken, so I can't really say where it is in relation to post if I were to really score things. But yeah, it's just really impressive thinking about the context for where like with the time that this album was released and how incredibly like cool everything sounds on it. I was also able the one track that really held it back, I was able to listen to like with a mix level that and like with headphones that didn't
Mm.
make me like want to throw up listening to it because of misophonia. So it's like I think if I didn't have misophonia, that song would be like one of the highlights of the album, would be
Mm-hmm.
94, but because of the shrill sound, I'm like I can't physically listen to it. So but yeah, S, 100%
I'm
S.
down
I
for
think we
S.
should move it up. Yeah, and I'm fine with you putting it in whatever order you
All right.
feel.
All right. I like this order.
Cool.
Okay. That's the other one. Oh, Vespertine. I'm down for keeping Vespertine exactly where it is.
Um, my my, I mean, it's
As an
hard
all-timer album.
because I fully agree. Um, I re-listened and it like its score also improved. It went from like a 90 to a 92, and Homogenic went from a 90 to a 93.
Mm.
So like I have it's definitely S. Do you like it? The only reason it's hard for me to put it above the other two is like it's more niche.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it isn't something that I can just throw on in the same way that
Yeah.
the other ones are. Um, but it's also just such a special album that I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely will be coming back to many times, just when I'm in the mood for it.
Yeah.
So, so I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of tied.
I
That's a really solid S tier for me.
yeah.
Um,
I think
yeah,
that Post and Homogenic are like kind of tied for me, and then
yeah.
Vespertine is just like slightly above.
That I'm happy to put it there. This is the Societycore tier list.
Societycore tier list.
It is
Christ.
maybe one of the most society albums of hers. It says a lot. It says a lot. It's not even true. It's actually
All
so personal and
right.
non-society whatsoever.
Medulla.
Medulla. You're not
Gotta
gonna
give this
believe
again.
this.
Oh no. No.
I listened to it. Score went up. What can I say? What can I say?
Sick fuck.
Um, did the song go? Did it actually? It might have only gone up by like 1 point.
Mm.
or even stayed the same, but the scores of individual songs definitely moved around a bit to a point where I feel it's more consistent in quality.
Hmm.
Um, the one song that I really hated, I hate a little less now. Um, and some of the stuff that I was like, "Oh, this is great," was a little bit. I think the novelty of it was what made me enjoy it, and some of
Hmm.
the stuff that the weirdness and novelty kind of kept me from really fully getting into. I was able to fully on later listens because I'm like, okay, I know what the album is. I'm not going to be shocked anymore. Appreciate more for like what's going into the production there. Particularly like who is it? I was kind of like, okay, it's a little campy, a little corny maybe. And then I re-listened. I'm like, oh no, this is actually really impressive. Um, Where is the Line was one where my first reaction just blew me away, and I was like, I kind of love it, even though it's insane. But re-listening, I'm like, okay, it's a little unhinged, and compared to some of the other stuff she does with that sound of like full acapella, it's not as good. And then Triumph of a Heart is just one of the best Bjork songs. I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't even know.
I agree.
I gave it a full 100. That song is absolutely insane. I cannot stop listening to it. And this is an A tier for me
A tier.
now. Like
Damn, that's
solidly A tier.
crazy. Damn, that's crazy.
Uh-oh.
I feel like I don't know. I just for some reason I fuck with debut so hard.
Okay,
It's
how about I think what would work, maybe, perhaps, we move both of them into A.
okay.
We move both of them into A with Medulla above it.
Okay.
Is that
I'm good
good?
with
Is
that
that good?
compromise. I'm good with that compromise.
Okay, cool. Because if I look at debut and I just take away the shitty ass
That
"There's More
song,
to
that's
Life"
so good.
live version, it goes into an A tier album.
Damn.
So
Damn.
truly, that absolute garbage that shouldn't have been included on the album is the only thing that's keeping it back. Uh, which for a tier list, I mean, I don't have to go by the average. As it overall as an album, it's better than that. So yeah, I'm happy moving it there.
Mhm. Oh god. Volta. Yeah, I think the very furthest I'd move it over Volnicera. That's my 2 cents on it.
So the thing is,
Oh
like
no. Oh
like I had to
no. Oh
listen. I had
no.
to hear what you were saying. I had to really commune with with the spirits, with God, with myself, with the spirit of Bjork. And I listened to the album again, and I was like, how do I feel about this truly? And it went up a point. It's now
Okay.
solidly A tier.
Oh god.
It's so fun. It's so fun. Even like some of the songs went down and others I was like, no, I was holding back. I was
I
I
was
was
holding
underrating.
back.
I was underrating this absolute gem of an album. Underrated. Um and I would have it like just behind Medulla.
Dear
Mainly
God.
because like it's just not that cohesive. It's just like a fun little Bjork grab bag.
Mhm.
Um but I'm fine keeping it. Honestly, where the tier list is right now, I'm I don't know if we'll have any movements.
Okay.
Like it looks different from mine, but
Yeah.
the order of things is like very reasonable to me.
Mhm.
So maybe we don't move it, but I just need people to know that it
In
is
your
as good as I
heart,
say.
it's higher.
It's worth a listen.
Christ.
Yeah.
All right. Any other adjustments?
Um No, I mean, I feel bad that biophilia is where it is, uh, but it's also like do I like it enough to move it around? Like they're all really in that same tier for me.
Yeah,
So, except Fossora. I have that lower, but I
yeah, yeah.
understand. Like I also don't think it would be reasonable to put it in a D tier. Like for me, I would just have those other two up in B, and
I
that
feel
would
like
be like,
even if there were like worse songs on Foster, I feel like I want to revisit some of the weirder stuff on it way more than I ever want to revisit Biophilia.
oh, you should re-listen to Sacrifice and Mutual Core. They're
Oh no, I like
bangers.
Mutual Core. That's the only one.
The only one.
Yeah,
Moon's really good too. It just has that fucking like
I think there's one
really
instrument on it that I just do
group
not
and,
care for.
uh yeah, Hollow is down there. It's pretty tough. Damn, okay. This is I'm happy with this tier list. Yeah.
This was
Although,
what?
wait, maybe no, I don't know. I don't know. I have Volnicure. I think Volnicure is like kind of underrated here. But you really didn't like it. So,
I think
it,
it's
it being
only
in the
like even
same
if we
tier.
moved it up to A, I feel like it's just so skewed.
Yeah, this grouping feels well, actually that kind of no, I kind of agree with having it the one B tier and then three C.
The one B tier.
It's fine. It's
All right.
we have to keep it
It's
as
there's
the
a
average.
very very blurred line between these tiers.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah, she's just really all-time artist. I would say for me, like having I had a pretty similar reaction to like what you did with Radiohead at a certain point
Oh yeah.
where you said like, oh, one of the best to ever do it, and I'm like, yeah, I feel pretty similarly with her.
I
Um,
think if I liked her later albums more, then I would say she was one of the best. I feel like she was one of the best,
mhm,
and then just because there, I was like listening to like a lot of the later stuff, and I'm like, there's like probably stuff like I'm just not gonna come back to, but I'm always gonna
mhm,
revisit those first four albums. So that's why I'm
that's
like,
true.
I don't know. I still
Yeah, I
think
guess
just like as an artist in general though, she's like super cool and does like a bunch of cool things and actually uses her platform to just kind of do what she wants instead of she's like in it for the art, you know.
yeah. There's also we didn't talk about this at all, but there's some really like cool political messaging on a lot of her stuff. Like Bjork, very based for sure. Um, including the greatest punk song of hers, "Declare Independence."
Declare
Uh,
independent.
underrated gem. Sean just doesn't get it.
I'm
Um,
too woke, or I'm too base to get it.
uh, I think, yeah, I guess you make a good point about the trajectory of Radiohead's career is kind of like incredible,
I feel
where
like if
it's
In
like they have
Rainbows wasn't In Rainbows, if it was Ass, then I'd probably see them more like Björk. But I feel like In Rainbows, it's like just doing that insane of a
like mid to
fucking
late
album.
career.
Yeah,
And then also like Moon Shaped Pool being like their final record is like goddamn.
You
Whereas she's
Smile album
definitely
in
like
2 days.
yeah,
That's
I
fucked.
still haven't listened to the last one, but the songs on I liked some of the songs on it. We're gonna do a revisit episode for once enough artists have new albums out.
Yep. I think it was like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So after Wednesday, there'll be 3 albums out, right?
Yeah,
Previous artists, yeah, we're getting there.
we're getting there. All
All
right.
right.
I think that's our tier list for Bjork,
Yep. It only took us
which
4 months. And they took us
Okay, but
4 months.
we have a system now. We have a schedule. We're gonna get better. Okay, we're already better.
Y'all not ready for Weezer album 20? Oh no.
Uh,
The Piss album.
See the Piss album?
Yeah, it's gonna, the
Jeez.
next one's the Yellow album.
I thought it was fucking the
Weezer's
songs
been
from
they Rivers Cuomo's been saying the Yellow album, but my personal
uh,
theory is that they're gonna release songs from the Black Hole.
okay. Uh, Yellow album, not looking forward to that. It's just not the color, not giving me good vibes.
They gotta do the Purple album.
The Purple album, much better vibes for sure. A mix of the Red album and the Blue album, thematically, like I don't know. That sounds like a home run
That
to
sounds
me.
the perfect amount of camp.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like a little more unhinged than Blue.
Mm-hmm. Pork and Beans too.
But still got that like a little bit of
Pork and
heaviness.
Beans too.
Yeah, Pork and Beans too. Hell yeah.
They fumbled the red track list for real. Chris is like the #1 Weezer fan, by the way.
What did you think of our ranking, Krish?
Uh-oh. Let's see what he says.
How'd we do?
He said I am. Oh, he's probably
That's
delayed in like 10 seconds.
Yeah, just a little bit.
He's probably gonna roast me for like one of the albums.
Yeah, let's go. Where do you have Maladroit personally?
There's probably has an S. A.
A? Hell yeah.
I just bought it on vinyl. Sick bastard.
It's on my list of albums to get on vinyl for sure.
All right.
So fun. Such a fun album.
The announcement of the next artist.
Oh, I'm so scared because I know you were gonna pick Ween and you
Yeah.
said you found something else, and I'm like, what could possibly have gotten you to pick not Ween
So,
after you've been doing nothing
I
but
have an
listening to Ween?
idea. I have an idea, right?
Okay.
Sticking to the experimental theme of season 2.
Oh, fuck me.
This is cheating a little bit, so if you're not okay with it, we can do something else. But
Oh, okay. Okay.
my idea, we do a tier list for Black Midi and the new Jordy Grape album that comes out in 2 days.
I'm so down.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
No, that's yeah, fully good with that.
There's 4 albums.
I mean, I could have that list done in fucking 2 hours, not 2 hours, like 2 days.
2 days.
But yeah, okay, maybe we
So,
give it.
I
Well,
had
give
another-
it 2 weeks of time with the new album.
I'm down. I think another thing, it'd be up to you, but there are some singles that aren't on albums that I think are really good, so we can choose to cover them if you want, or we can skip.
I think maybe you just like send me a list
Okay.
and then also like publish it to the account so people know what to listen to prepare.
So I think there's 5 singles that aren't on albums, and I think all of them are like.
It's gonna be hard because it's gonna be like S S S S S.
We'll do like Grape-tastic, Grape awful, Grape. God. But there's also Cavill covers, but I don't know if we should include covers.
Oh, we should absolutely include Cavill
Okay,
covers.
we'll do Cavill covers
That's such
too.
a funny fucking EP.
There's a thing called Covercade where it's Cavill covers plus like 3 other covers.
Sick.
But that's like I actually found it's like impossible to find. It doesn't exist. They actually covered a Bjork song.
Some of Audrey's friends were talking about Taylor Swift, so I played the Love Story cover in the car, and they were like, "What the hell is this?" I'm like, "It's Love Story."
That's awesome. Okay.
Boycotting that episode. No.
Chris, you're just a hater. I haven't been this excited for a new album in years. Like I'm so fucking ready for the new album.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what the last artist I was like hyped for. Probably fucking Scaring the Hose was the last one where I was like, and then before that, uh, fucking Mr. Morale.
I don't even know, yeah, because I mean there was like King Gizzard. It's like the last couple albums that came out, I wasn't that excited based off the singles. Like I was like, oh, it's still new King Gizzard, but I'm like, it's not gonna blow me like away. Like with the
Yeah,
latest Flight B741, I wasn't like, oh my god, oh my god.
yeah, that album was probably somewhere mid to low on our tier
Damn.
list. If I were to put
After
it.
seeing them live, I started listening to it a lot more.
Okay.
But I like it. All right, so yeah, Black MIDI with the new sound. That'll be the next episode.
Hell
I'll
yeah.
send you a list of
Nice.
the stuff.
I'll
Yeah.
just start with the main things because that'll be easy. Oh, I gotta come up with, because it's short, I think I'm gonna come up with another fucking King Gizzard style
God.
fucking ranking
Oh
system.
God.
It's some insane, absolutely insane shit.
The creep
Um,
system.
the Grief score?
The creep
I'm
score.
getting on it. The Grief scale.
Love Story is the first time I ever heard Black MIDI. Oh my God.
That's a
Krish.
wild introduction.
That's a fucked introduction.
Yeah.
All right. Next two supposed weeks, we'll have the Black MIDI episode.
So excited. Oh, and then I get to pick.
Oh fuck! I don't even want to think of what you're gonna do. I'm scared. The Bjork and Death Grips combo is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I feel like they're so like close together. I kind of want a breath of fresh air, but are we? Yeah, we can't just end season 2 there and move on to season 3, can we?
We got we got a
finish
couple
out the
months
experiment.
left of the year, so we'll see.
Maybe I'll do something. Yeah,
I
I
feel
have
like
some
there's
ideas.
one artist that would make a lot of sense, but I'm like, I don't even know if I want to do it.
You should wait. What's the what? I'll take suggestions. Let me think about it. Who's on your mind?
I think one of them that would make a lot of sense, but I think the catalog is almost it. I don't even know because there's so many different tier lists for it. But one that makes a lot of sense, I feel like, is Aphex Twin.
Oh,
But
true.
I've like tried looking at like what people recommend, and there's like so many different things.
I think personally, I would not never ever pick Apex Twin. uh, Mostly because of I don't know it's just really hard for me to rank fully. Yeah, electronic.
That would be
It would just be such a process
maybe
to
it's
get
just the
through.
unspoken rule. We won't choose that until one of us fucks over the other person one day.
Yeah. If that gets picked, you know you fucked up.
The grapening.
The griefing is hype as hell.
All right, I guess we'll end the episode there. Let's see if anything
Thanks
else
for
you want to
tuning
add.
in. Everyone listen to all the albums in A and S tier, and also Volta, and also maybe Volnicura if you like specifically like Vespertine, and that's my suggestion.
Thank you guys for joining. Catch you next time. What should we call our fans?
I don't fucking know.
Should our fans just be called Society? Thank you,
Yeah,
Society, for tuning in.
Our fan is Society. Our fan base literally is just Society.
Please listen to our episodes on Spotify.
Max, fuck off.
Please listen to us on Spotify so we can grow our brand.
Yeah.
We have zero streams so far on the past 2 episodes, but that's okay. Put it on in the background.
That's really tough. Put it on in the background.
Societies. Oh God. All right. Ending stream. Goodbye.